The film begins with a retired Marine named Charlie, who now works as a hitman. At that time, his boss named Stan asks him to team up with a new partner he's never met before. However, Charlie prefers to work alone, so he's getting frustrated waiting for his new partner. Finally, a guy named Blade shows up, and Charlie becomes even more annoyed by Blade's behavior. Shortly after, they go to the home of their target, Rollo, to complete their mission. Since Blade is new, Charlie gives him a chance to do the job. However, Charlie is confused because Blade doesn't use a knife as expected, even though Stan said he always does. Instead, Blade gives Rollo a box of donuts, and there's an explosion in Rollo's house. At that time, they manage to kill Rollo, but the problem is that due to the donut bomb Blade gave him, Rollo's head exploded, and they can't identify him. Their customer, Bigard, is a cautious person who won't pay until he's absolutely sure it's Rollo. Charlie also contacts the agency boss, Saul, to help find Rollo's family's address. Long story short, Charlie and Blade met Rollo's ex-wife, Mercy. From their conversation with Mercy, Charlie realized that Rollo wasn't well liked by many people, so it wasn't a surprise that he had been killed. Charlie, realizing that Mercy also didn't like Rollo, offered her $5,000 to go with him to meet Bigard and confirm if Rollo's body was in the trunk as it should be. However, Mercy didn't want to get too involved, and said that Rollo had a tattoo on his buttocks like hers. After checking Rollo's body in the trunk, Blade suddenly pulled a gun on Charlie and took over the job of delivering Rollo's body. Blade did this to get paid by Bigard without having to share it with Charlie and to join Bigard's gang. As Blade drove the car, he acted recklessly and accidentally shot himself. This caused the car to lose control, hit an electricity pole, and catch fire. Charlie felt that the situation was getting more chaotic because Rollo's headless corpse was now also burned. Soon after, Charlie came up with a plan. He asked Mercy to contact her brother, who was a tattoo artist, to create a tattoo on Blade's body that looked like Rollo's tattoo. Then, Charlie would hand over Blade's corpse instead, after cutting off his head. Before leaving, Charlie took some time to visit Stan, who was not only his leader but also his best friend. Soon after, Charlie prepared food and labeled the meals and medicine that Stan needed to take. Despite his old age, Stan had been in charge of the Biloxis area for 47 years and was still active, though he was suffering from dementia in his later years. The next day, Charlie eventually met Bigard at his headquarters. After Bigard confirmed that the body was indeed Rollo's, Charlie received his payment. Before leaving, Bigard asked Charlie to set up a meeting with Stan, as they had some business matters to discuss. Afterward, Charlie returned to Mercy and gave her the promised $5,000. There, Mercy mentioned that she worked as a taxidermist, an artist who preserves dead animals as if they were still alive. Charlie was also attracted to Mercy, so he invited her to have a meal together. The following day, Charlie was seen gathering with his colleagues, who all worked for Stan and were like his family. There was Benny, who managed Stan's entertainment clubs along with his wife's line, Tony, who handled Stan's gambling operations, Paul, who worked as a driver, and Charlie, who was a hitman. They had strict rules within their group, only targeting bad people, and answered to an agency board named Saul, which oversaw all the assassin agencies in the area. While they were sitting together, Stan asked Charlie about his retirement plans, as Charlie wanted to buy a house in Italy for his retirement. There, Charlie mentioned that he was still thinking about it. However, Stan advised Charlie to make a decision about his retirement soon. Stan mentioned that he had his retirement plans ready. Charlie then shared a message from Bigard, who wanted to meet Stan. But Stan refused to do business with Bigard because he believed Bigard was not a good person. In that moment, Stan warned Charlie to stay away from Bigard and his group. When Charlie returned home and was finishing his work, Bigard's men sneaked in to try and kill him. But as a professional assassin with a lot of experience, Charlie was always alert and well prepared, allowing him to eliminate both of Bigard's attackers. Afterward, Charlie went to collect the bodies of Bigard's men and contacted Benny. Charlie asked Benny to warn their colleagues at the casino because Bigard was starting to threaten their group. However, on his way to the casino, Charlie encountered more of Bigard's men and realized it was too late because all his colleagues had already been killed. Charlie was determined to seek revenge and finish off Bigard, so he met with Saul, the board member of Stan's agency, who was the leader of the hitmen. There, Charlie asked for permission to take out Bigard because Bigard had violated the rules by killing Stan. Unfortunately, Saul refused because Bigard played an important role in the agency's business and had made significant contributions to its progress. Saul also told Charlie that Bigard was younger than Stan, who was considered old, and suggested that Stan deserved to be replaced by a younger leader. There, Saul even advised Charlie to leave and go far away. However, Charlie refused and insisted on seeking revenge against Bigard in his own way. When Charlie asked where Bigard was, Saul suggested that Charlie should ask his colleagues who were still safe. Upon hearing this, Charlie remembered Benny, who had hired Blade for Stan. At that time, Charlie realized that Benny had betrayed him. Charlie then went back home, gathered all his weapons, and went to Benny's house to confront him. After getting information from Benny's wife, Celine, Charlie headed to the casino that had been taken over by Bigard. When he arrived at the casino, Charlie discreetly asked a guard he knew to leave early. Then he entered Benny's room casually and swiftly eliminated him. After dealing with Benny, Charlie proceeded to eliminate all of Bigard's men at the casino. However, as Charlie started to be surrounded, the guard he had helped earlier came to his rescue out of loyalty to Stan. Curious about why Bigard wanted Rollo dead so badly, Charlie followed one of Bigard's men who was searching for something at Rollo's house. While he was at the house, Charlie ignored a phone call from someone named Mr. Green and continued his investigation. Suddenly, Charlie met another one of Bigard's men and swiftly dealt with him. In the end, Charlie discovered that Rollo had evidence of Bigard's criminal activities recorded on a tape. That's why Bigard sent Blade and Charlie to eliminate Rollo. Bigard didn't want this evidence to be found by Charlie or known by Saul, so he sent his men to keep looking for the recording. Right now, they are at Mercy's house. Fortunately, Mercy, who used to be a mafia wife, managed to kill 2 of Bigard's men with her skills. Not long after, Charlie arrived there and explained everything to Mercy. Upon hearing this, Mercy also mentioned that besides the recording, Rollo had $50,000 that he was supposed to give to her but never did. At that time, Charlie planned to go to New Orleans, where Rollo's gang was based, and Mercy insisted on coming along because she also wanted her $50,000 to improve her life. Meanwhile, at Charlie's house, Bigard's subordinate, Bruno, seemed to be searching for Charlie. Long story short, Charlie and Mercy reached another one of Rollo's houses, but it appeared that Bigard's men had already ransacked the place. They searched all the rooms but didn't find anything. Mercy, who knew Rollo's habits, believed that he kept the recording in a red box with a picture of a Mustang car, but they couldn't find that object. Fortunately, Charlie received a helpful tip from a fax machine about the apartment where Rollo had stayed recently. After contacting the apartment and checking the billing history, Charlie got the room number and hurried there. Upon arrival, he thoroughly searched every nook of the apartment, but found nothing. As he was about to wait for the elevator, Bruno also arrived, looking for evidence of the recording. There, Charlie tried to escape from Bruno and ended up hiding in the pillow disposal area. Despite getting shot, Charlie managed to survive and return to his safe hideout. Soon after, Mercy helped treat Charlie's wounds and expressed her concern, suggesting that Charlie consider retiring as he could meet a fate similar to Rollo's. However, Charlie insisted on seeking revenge. Then, by investigating clues in the apartment bill, Charlie and Mercy's search led them to Rollo's mom's house, where Rollo had contacted her a few times before her passing. When they arrived, Mercy meticulously searched every part of the room and finally found Rollo's red storage box. But to their surprise, when they opened it, they discovered that the contents were missing. It turned out that the $50,000 in the box had been used by Rollo's mom for breast surgery. Meanwhile, the recording that Charlie was searching for had never been found by Rollo's mom. After discovering that her $50,000 had been used for breast surgery, Mercy asked Charlie to take her to the bus station because she wanted to go home right away. At that time, Charlie planned to continue searching for the recording. To keep Mercy from feeling discouraged, he offered his own money to her. However, Mercy refused and asked Charlie to promise that he would return to ensure her safe journey. Charlie mentioned his desire to retire and buy a house in Italy, while Mercy wanted to pursue her art at an arts campus. Before parting ways, she reminded him not to fall in love with her, but it was too late because Charlie had already fallen for her. However, Mercy changed her plans to go home when she remembered that Rollo used to manage an old bar owned by Bigard. Mercy believed that Rollo might have hidden the recording there. Upon arrival, she entered the bar and searched for any clues. Mercy pretended not to know what happened to her ex-husband, acting as if Rollo was still alive. Knowing that Rollo collected Mustang cars, she looked for a picture of a Mustang and finally found the recording evidence. As Mercy left the bar, Bigard's men apprehended her. Luckily, Charlie arrived just in time to rescue Mercy. Then she entrusted the recording to Charlie, but then Bruno appeared and managed to restrain Charlie. At that moment, Bruno instructed Charlie to head to Bigard's headquarters. Then, on his way to meet Bigard, who had also captured Mercy, Charlie kept a close eye on Bruno's drinking habits. When he saw the right opportunity, Charlie crashed the car he was driving, causing Bruno's death. Charlie then hijacked another driver's car to reach Bigard's headquarters and rescue Mercy, as well as settle the score with Bigard. Upon arrival, Charlie witnessed Bigard holding Mercy hostage and demanding that Charlie record the tape, while holding him at gunpoint. However, a sudden gunshot took Bigard's life. Unexpectedly, Charlie showed the recording to Saul. In the recording, it turned out that Bigard had betrayed Saul and reported his crimes to the FBI, with the intention of taking over Saul's position as the agency's leader. After confirming Bigard's rule-breaking, Saul gave Charlie permission to eliminate Bigard. In the end, Stan turned out to still be alive. Turns out, Charlie had previously moved him to a safe place when Stan expressed his distrust of Bigard. So, the bodies found at Stan's house belonged to Paul and some of Stan's men. Charlie relocated Stan to a retirement home that Stan had prepared and gave him a new identity, Mr. Green. After all of the drama, Charlie and Mercy got married and started a new life in Italy. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is sometimes, in the craziest of situations, you might just find love and a happy ending, even when it all started with a donut bomb and a headless corpse.